This thing right here causes a parent hell.
You got Michael and Camilla, and then there's Raphael. In 2018 we had Ariel. Our love is real, it feels surreal. Subscribe to our channel and enjoy the thrill. A typical day in a noble's household. We come from London where it's always cold. Daddy has to change the baby's bum bum, whilst mommy has to soothe Raphael's tum tum. Things are crazy as you can tell. At the end of everything it ends all well. The nobles. The nobles.
Hello there and welcome back to our channel. That was my Irish accent. I'm not sure if it was good, but welcome back to our channel. I hope you guys are doing awesome. If you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Press that subscribe button right here and join our Familia. We would really appreciate it. We're on a mission to get to 1,000 subscribers. Help us. Thank you. What inspired me to do today's video? I was with my friend yesterday and she has a daughter. She's a little bit younger than Raphael, and Raphael is 2. And her daughter has a dummy, and she said to me she's trying to get rid of the dummy, but her daughter's quite attached to it. And I gave Raphael a dummy. Well, let me elaborate. When Raphael was born, I did not want to give him a dummy. I refused to buy one, and then when he got to around 6 months, he was complaining a lot because he started to teeth. And my mum was like, oh Cam, you should get him a dummy. And I was like, no mum, I'm not getting him a dummy. I refused to get a dummy. And then he was complaining a bit too much, and so then Michael went out and bought him a dummy. For some of you who might not know what a dummy is, because I know in different countries we call them different things, a dummy is this thing. Causes a parent hell. It causes us hell, okay? In some cases, not in most. In some countries, they're known as pacifiers, they're known as chupeta, they're known as pipillas, comforters, soothers. In the UK, we call them a dummy. We ended up buying Raphael a dummy. And then recently, well no, before we made the decision to completely get rid of the dummy, he wanted it all the time. And then there was times when I'll be like at my mum's house, or we'll be out and we can't find the dummy. He would cry for him. And it just got to the point where I was just like, I'm so fed up of looking for this silly dummy. And I thought, right, I'm ready to cut it out. So anyway, that's basically the whole inspiration behind this video today. I'm hoping that this video may help someone who is trying to find a way to get rid of the dummy. It's just basically to give you a tool to see whether it helps you to get rid of your baby's dummy. I just wanted to throw a few facts before I start the video. 60% of parents use a dummy. Giving your child a dummy is out of choice. I've got a few friends who hasn't given their kids a dummy, and that was their choice. That's fair enough. At the end of the day, I think we shouldn't judge someone for what they do, especially for parents, because, well, not only just parents, but just in general, because we don't know the reason behind it. Some parents find that giving a dummy is fine. So at the end of the day, it's an option whether you do want to give a dummy to a child or whether you don't. It's entirely up to you. I wish I didn't give it. However, let's not regret things in life, hey? And then, what are dummies used for? It helps the child to calm down. It settles the babies, and sometimes toddlers too. In my case, Raphael is a toddler. So babies are soothed by the action of sucking. You may find your baby needs to suck on something for comfort when he or she wakes up and is not feeding. As he or she gets older and finds other ways to soothe himself or herself, he'll need it less and less, or she'll need it less and less. Some parents couldn't get through the day without giving their baby a dummy, whereas other parents strongly disapprove of their use, which goes back to, it's just your decision as a parent whether you want to give it or not. You may decide you definitely won't use one, but change your mind when you're faced with your crying baby. I guess that's what happened with us with Raphael. It is used to comfort your child in terms of sucking. Like, so for example, I was breastfeeding Ariel, which is our second baby, and it got to a point where it was really hurting, and we consciously made the decision to give Ariel one as she was a baby in comparison to not giving Raphael one when he was born. When she finished breastfeeding and she still cried a little bit, I would just give her the dummy and she will calm down and we'll be able to get on with our day. I don't regret giving Ariel a dummy. However, I feel this time, because we gave Raphael a dummy up until he was 2, I feel this time, as soon as Ariel gets all her teeth, we're going to take it away, because we know how hard it is when they get addicted to it. At the moment, we are only giving Ariel her dummy when we put her to sleep. Sometimes she sleeps without it, but majority of the time it just calms her down and she is able to sleep. It's a choice, as I said. You don't have to give your baby a dummy. If you have, and you're trying to find ways to get rid of it, and you're thinking, damn, this is hard, I'm never going to be able to get rid of it, let me give you some tips. Basically, at the time when we was ready to take Raphael's dummy away, it was probably about 1 month ago. I've had enough. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to spend 20 to 25 minutes looking for this silly dummy which he has misplaced somewhere. He might have thrown it somewhere, I don't know. I've done a bit of research before because I was struggling to get rid of it, and I come across this website. I'll link it down below for some of you if you want to read it yourself. One woman that I read, she said that her son was crying and crying for it and she genuinely couldn't find it. So she said to her son, okay, help me look for the dummy. And they spent half an hour looking for it, and the baby ended up getting tired looking for it. So then he just fell asleep, and then she continued that routine, and then eventually she got rid of the dummy. Another woman said that she replaced the dummy with something that the baby likes, so like a toy or maybe like a blanket. If you've given your baby a blanket, just replace it with something else so that they forget about the dummy. In some cases it might not work, so I'm just throwing like a few things that you could try from. Another man who said that to get rid of his daughter's dummy, he basically just explained to her, you're becoming a big girl and big girls don't need dummies. And eventually he took it away from her and she never asked for it again. I know some people are like, how are you going to speak to a 2-year-old? Like, they're not going to understand. Believe me, children are very clever in this generation, okay? They understand everything. I feel like I want to communicate with Raphael from a young age because it teaches him how to communicate himself. It allows him to express how he's feeling. If we can't teach our children how to communicate, where are they going to learn it from? In my case, I spoke to Raphael. One morning, he threw the dummy somewhere. I don't know where it went, and he was asking for it. I said to him, Raphael, I don't know where you threw your dummy, darling. Do you want to go look for it? And he said, no. Ah, terrible twos. He was like, no, I don't want to look for it. Anyway, so let me put my pen down. He stopped asking for it. He came to his nap time. He asked for his dummy. And I said, listen, Raphael, you are a big boy now. And he's like obsessed with Spider-Man. And I said, does Spider-Man have a dummy? He was like, no. Gabriel's his older cousin. I said, does Gabriel have a dummy? He said, no. And I started to name all his other cousins. And I said, they don't have dummies. So Raphael doesn't need one. And then he went quiet for a bit. And then I said, let's go to sleep and let's forget about the dummy. And when you wake up, we can go and play. And then he said, okay. And then he fell asleep. It might be easier said than done to some of you. It's entirely up to you how you choose to get rid of the dummy. But for me, that worked. He did ask for it at night time when he wanted to go to sleep. The next day he asked for it and I just kept telling him it's gone. I can't find it. I think it's just about not giving up as well. Because I know when you have a crying baby, especially for some people who have more than 2 kids and like you've got so much to do, I understand that it can get a bit too much, so you're just like, oh, let me just give you the dummy, and you give in, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging anyone for doing that. However, if you don't take control of the situation, you have to ask yourself, how many times are you going to give in? Just do it. Like, be strong, be firm, and don't give in. Trust me, once your child doesn't have it that one time, it will eventually get into a routine, into a habit, and they won't want it anymore. So there literally are a few things that you can do in order to get rid of this thing here. I hope this video helped you. As I said, I will put some links in the comment section of the websites that I visited, and there will be many strategies for you to use, and I hope one of them works for you. If you have enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. Share this video if you have a friend or a family member who may be struggling as well. Also, let us know what videos you want to see from us, because we're fairly new to YouTube. Whether it's from me, whether it's from Michael, whether it's from both of us, let us know what sort of content you want to see from us. But nevertheless, we'll continue doing videos for you guys. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe and all that jazz, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Mwah!
I'm like, identify my mum, is she dead or something? Like, why do I need to go to the hospital to identify my mum? Like, and on this occasion I felt suicidal and stuff like that.